Again, Iranian-backed problems. Iran is again basically pushing the Houthi rebels, firing 2 missiles at a U.S. Navy destroyer off the coast of Yemen yesterday. U.S. officials long accusing Iran of supplying missiles and other weapons to the Houthis. He's Lieutenant Colonel Tony Shaffer. He says it's another byproduct of our Iran deal.
It is.
You know, good to be with you, Colonel. The White House says the incident is under investigation, but what do you make of it?
Well, 2 things. First, as you stipulated, this is a continuation of bad acts by the Iranians, and this is not surprising or not predicted. Once the deal was done, a number of folks, one of my dear friends and close mentors is Bud McFarland, National Security Advisor to President Reagan. He talked about the fact that when you make an agreement like this, this only opens the door for open aggression, especially when you show weakness. So I think the pattern has been very clear. We've shown weakness. We've basically given in every time something's happened, and now because you have the Houthi rebels as a proxy in Yemen. And let's remember, Liz, President Obama said just 2 years ago that the Yemen model was the one he wanted to see come out in Syria. Think about that.
Yeah,
so here we have the Iranians now pushing harder than ever to be provocative. And it's not going to get any better from here. And again, if we see the continuation of the current policies, which Ms. Clinton has given every indication she plans on continuing this outreach, we'll see the same thing continue.
Lieutenant Colonel, isn't this an act of war?
This is absolutely an act of war that, in my judgment, requires a response from the Pentagon with severe military action. Again, this is not some random accident where missiles were just fired. This is a provocation. So, again, as I said, if you don't meet provocation with some level of measured but effective response, you will continue to see the aggressor expanding their effort. And I think that's what is required here, some level of military response. There's a number of options the Pentagon has. I hope they consider doing one.
Lieutenant Colonel, last night Hillary Clinton tried to embarrass Donald Trump over his 3 a.m. tweets about Miss Universe Alicia Mikado. Trump, however, turned the tables. I'd like your reaction. Listen.
Sure.
By the way, just so you understand, when she said 3 o'clock in the morning, take a look at Benghazi. She said, who's going to answer the call at 3 o'clock in the morning? Guess what? She didn't answer because when Ambassador Stevens...
The question is that the discipline of a good leader?
600 times. Well, she said she was awake at 3 o'clock in the morning. And she also sent a tweet out at 3 o'clock in the morning, but I won't even mention that. But she said she'll be awake. Who's the famous thing? We're going to answer our call at 3 o'clock in the morning. Guess what happened? Ambassador Stevens sent 600 requests for help. And the only one she talked to was Sidney Blumenthal, who's her friend, and not a good guy, by the way. So, you know, she shouldn't be talking about that.
You know, it seems like the media's been trying to shut down Benghazi. We lost very good men in Benghazi, sir. Do you think Americans are forgetting about Benghazi? It's sort of like, oh, make it go away.
Well, I hope they're not, and I think this is one of those things, ironically enough, I have a tweet here from Ms. Clinton last night, and she says he needs to take responsibility for his actions. She tweeted that. She needs to take responsibility for her actions or lack of actions. That's one of the points here, Liz, that I'm very upset about. Ms. Trump is completely correct on this, where she stipulated certain things she was going to do, didn't do, and she's being called on it now, and she doesn't like it.
All right. Retired Lieutenant Colonel Tony Shaffer, thank you so much for your service to our country. We really appreciate your time tonight.